teacher lives out of the district, like in Lagunitas. Their teacher can come to this school. Their kid.
Yes.
And so there are other exceptions. I don't know what the number is. It's not a huge number. It's not like 100. It might. I don't know what it is. It's not a huge number. But there are out of district kids. Just for information purposes, they get to count out of district kids in their ADA number. We don't. So that's one thing. The other thing is, the law requires that we are operating under the law. We wouldn't exist if the law were not what it is. And we are required by the law and by our oversight agency to admit all kids who apply if we have space.
Under Prop 39.
Under
state law.
state charter law. Anybody who goes,
Prop 39 is
No.
separate law. I'm just questioning,
Oh, yeah, he's gonna
For
explain
clarity.
it, just let him explain it.
So we are required under charter law, under charter ed code, to take any student in the state of California who applies, if we have space, after we have provided space to in-district students. That's a requirement that we cannot get out of. We cannot say we don't want out-of-district students. That's not an option for us. That, of course, doesn't fit well with the Prop 39 law, which only lets us count in-district students. So we're living with that, and we are managing that, and we are using the law, as we've explained here, as one way in which we do that. Because we actually have class sizes which are higher than the district class sizes. Our class sizes, our target class size is 24, and most of our classes now have, I don't know what the average is, but it's very close to 24. So our class sizes are actually bigger than the district class sizes. And some of those are out of district
because
kids.
they're not a district.
Yeah.
But that's your.
40%.
But they are public.
No, it's not
schools
40%,
too.
it's 25, it was
That's not Prop
20%.
39.
The point is that the Prop 39 process works
Please,
properly.
we're- we have
Stop.
explained, we have explained in Prop 39.
You may not
Yes.
like it, but that's
Yeah.
just the way it is.
Yeah.
So then there's a question about wait list. The wait list does not,
If we keep getting interrupted, by the way, we're just gonna stop answering questions. So please let us answer them and stop interrupting.
the wait list, is a factor of the law. We don't believe that the wait list is, we don't have a lot of space left. We have admitted, I don't know what the number is, but close to 180 kids for this year. And our capacity, I think, is 198. So, the wait list is the wait list. It's required by the law. We have to follow the law. We will take kids off the wait list if people we've offered space to turn us down. But this year, as you'll see later in the agenda, we are making people, just like the school district does, enroll. So, we gotta sign for the human. We want people who seriously are gonna attend to be counted over the next few months. I did not understand your 14 divided by 2 question. It was, is 14, what is 14 divided by 2? The obvious answer is 7, but I don't think that's what you wanted to hear.
But I don't think that's what you, that is what I wanted to hear.
Well, what's that got to do with anything?
Pull up the slide, I'll show you again.
No, just tell me.
So this issue about the suggestion of 22 versus 13, how many kids per class? It says on the district slide that the district requires 14 classrooms per school. So based upon their slide, and again, this is the,
And you know what that's based on?
this is the, what is it, statistics, lies and statistics, and what we talked about it last time. I guarantee,
He's trying
he
to
asked me a
answer.
question.
He's trying to answer now. He just said, he's trying to explain
I really
it.
don't understand.
I think he's talking about homeroom, so they're saying in order to accommodate the enrollment that they're projecting for each one of the campuses, they need 14 homeroom classrooms to accommodate the number of students. So then he's saying if we have about half of an average school, that we should have 7 homeroom classrooms. But
What-
it's not,
what I was
but you're
saying-
not talking about any other spaces.
Yeah, but I'm,
Yeah.
fi-
I understand.
I'm fine with that. For
Yeah, I
the-
know.
If you give us 7 classrooms of in-district students, I'm fine with that. And then
But you
there's
said
all
you
the
couldn't do
other
that.
stuff.
I mean, there's two sides of the law.
Right.
Right, right, and they're talking, when they say 14, they're not, Manor only has 12 classrooms
Right.
now, I believe. But they're not talking about art, music, daycare, and special ed and all the other things.
I think, I'll clarify, my point was, they offered 6 classrooms, you're suggesting in the 10 classroom range. That slide, using your math, 14 divided by 2 is 7, is approximately
Those are
half.
apples and
Just,
oranges.
it's not apples and oranges, and just be careful, because, and you're smart, I'm pretty good at math. You can pick any math you want and create any scenario that you want.
That's just
That
not
slide
true.
doesn't support you as much as you think it does if you use that slide in the courtroom. Just
There
being
are
careful.
90 There are 90 classrooms, there are 90 physical classrooms.
If that
That's-
slide says 14, that's the only
No,
thing
it
I know.
doesn't.
I'm not that
It's-
smart.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
I
Well,
just to be
we are
clear,
going to let the judge determine
that
that.
there are classrooms, and then there's, I had a son who went to Brookside. He was in special ed, he used special ed space outside of the classroom. He had art, he had music, there are other spaces that are available, and that is what's at contention here.
Yeah, your job's not to convince us.
Okay, thank you.
All right, so I'm trying to get done here.
Yeah.
We are not putting, we have looked very hard at commercial space. If somebody wants to go out and find commercial space for us that we can afford, because our enrollment, got dropped by the go public, not charter campaign. We don't have as much revenue as we originally projected. And we really can't, at this point, we can't afford $2 a square foot for commercial space. That's unless somebody, some godfather comes, as the district can't either. And so unless somebody comes out with $1 million for us to do something with, I don't think, Christie's working at it, and, she's worked on it off and on,
I'll
so
say,
she
I
has a
think we're
different
gonna
answer.
continue looking for private space. I've always been interested in private space. I think it's a great solution. I think the more we grow enrollment, the more financial capability we'll have to afford higher rents. And I think it's something we're always looking into. It does take a long time, so I don't think that I haven't seen or heard of anything that's live as an option that would help us for next fall. So I think it's something we should always be looking into over time. I do think that long-term, the vacant Red Hill campus is just an obvious choice. It's already zoned for a school, it's already got 14 classrooms, and it's not being used. So that's one that we'll keep coming back to. Why not use the vacant elementary school building?
Okay, then there was a question about, why didn't we deal with this last year? And the reality is we did. If you look at our response to the district's original offer, we said, that, they did not, we said all these things, all that math, all that writing, everything I said tonight is in that letter. We just decided not to go to court over it, because we had enough classrooms to start, and that's what we cared about. We did not care about winning or fighting or making points, we cared about having a school. And at that point, we didn't have a school, so, what's different between last year and this year is that now we have a school, and we now need the space that is fairly allocated to us. So you can consider that bad faith. We pointed all these things out last year. They ignored them in their response. They ignored them in the preliminary offer. And they seem to believe that these 35 classrooms shouldn't be counted. They truly believe that. So, we just need to test who's right. And it's possible we could still find a negotiated solution, but it's not at this point. Now, there was one other point made, and I wrote not used.
I think it was my point about in your letter, you explicitly say that while you're asking for this space, for the purpose, because it's being provided, your argument is that it's being provided in the other campuses,
All right.
that you're under no obligation to use the space for the purpose that it's designated.
Right, that is what the law says.
So,
That was clarified in that court case, I
Supreme
believe,
Court.
in the Supreme Court case.
Just
they
because the
said-
district uses its space one way because of its program and its management decisions, that doesn't mean the charter school is bound to do the exact same thing that the district does.
So do you intend
This
to
is a,
take it and
this
use
is
it for
a,
other
this is a,
districts?
this is a methodology for allocating space.
Yes.
And we have a simple point, which is that we're not allocated the space that the law requires.
So do you intend to
So
use
you're
it as
actually-
our music?
Actually, I'm not gonna accept any more questions
I
or
wanna hear the
comments on
answers,
this
they've already
item.
said if you keep
Our
talking, we're not gonna hear the answers.
answer, our answer to the question is that the law allows us to use the spaces how we want. So if we decide that we wanna use one of our classrooms as a Spanish instruction classroom, we are not prohibited from doing that just because the district doesn't have a Spanish classroom on one of their K-5 campuses. The law says charter schools inherently are gonna have different types of programs than the districts in which they're located. And so therefore, it should be up to us to determine how to use the space, who's occupying the space, whether we end up using something as a homeroom or not as a homeroom, but that the spaces need to be equitable in terms of what's offered to other students at those same comparison K-5 campuses. And so our answer is, we determine how to use our space based upon our program. And I don't think that we need to justify how we determine how we use those spaces, but it is our intention to have primarily homeroom classrooms in our school and to have the flexibility of having a couple of spaces so that we can offer our programs like art and music and before and after care, very similar to the district campuses. I think we covered
we're
most,
done with that.
I think we covered mostly everything that would be under Prop 39. Some people asked questions, but they weren't really technically related to this topic, so I'm gonna keep us moving along. And so, this is really a discussion item, this agenda item, there is no